So here I have the NANOFLARE 800 Pro.
And here I have the NANOFLARE 700 Pro. But what's the difference? So let's start just with a reminder of the NANOFLARE range. Well, we're looking at a range of rackets that specifically have a headlight design. Now, a lot of these rackets are sort of targeted towards doubles players for those fast interactions at the net, in defense, or even in the mid-court. So if you're watching this and you're really into your doubles, this range of racket is perfect for you.
So let's start with the design of these two rackets because they are very, very different. So I have the 800 Pro in the kind of deep green color, but generally quite quiet, quite a sleek racket. But if we compare that to the 700 Pro, we're going to go into the other end of the scale. Yeah,
and this is sort of their midnight version, I think they call it. And I think the word we used was a bit lairier. So it's got a lot of colors. It's really punching out at you compared to that quieter deep green on the 800 Pro. But apart from that, I mean, even if we look at the sort of the frame width, it's very, very similar style of racket. It's mainly sort of that color difference and what you're going to prefer.
So let's start talking about the main difference between the two rackets. And it's all down to the stiffness of the shaft. So 800 Pro has a stiff shaft. So it's really meant to excel in the drives. And I can see here again, getting some nice power, but also very quick to get ready for the next shot.
Now, if we compare it to this 700 Pro I've got here, I can definitely feel the benefit of having a bit more of a medium flex shaft. Feels a little whippier. So particularly for those who struggle to generate power with that short swing in the mid-court, this is just gonna give you that little bit of boost to allow you to get a bit more snap on your drives. And it feels really nice and light to change direction, keep your racket up in a good position and play a good shot. So both of these rackets have an enhanced sonic flare system, which increases repulsion and face stability. So both of these rackets have a wide profile frame. Now what this is going to do is increase the stability of the frame as it contacts the shuttle, meaning the shuttle is going to come off those strings at a faster pace. Now both of these rackets have Yonex signature isometric shape, and what this is going to do is it increases that sweet spot, so you're going to have less miss hits even when you're swinging as fast as you can.
So I'm just doing a little bit of defense work now with the 700 Pro. And for me, unfortunately, I'm no longer in my 20s and my smash speed is starting to get a lot slower. So medium flex shaft is actually something that I'm thinking of possibly moving towards to help me in other areas of the court, such as my defense and the drives, just to allow me that extra whippiness with the racket to feel like I can get ready a lot quicker rather than using that stiff shaft that I have to put a lot more into.
So moving on to sort of a bit of mid-rear work, and if you want to find out more on what I thought of this racket, the 700 Pro, we've got a video out on it. But this is typically where you'd expect it to be in a way at its weakest, being super head light, that flexible shaft, but really it feels really nice and sharp from overhead. You're not really looking for loads of power, but you're getting a lot of control and a lot of speed through that racket head and through the shuttle, so your shots are coming off really fast and sharp. So we compare that to the 800 Pro, and you are getting a very similar feel. Yes, I'd say maybe putting a little bit more effort in with that stiff shaft on the faster shots, but the control in the mids feels really nice. And I'm still getting the quality I would expect from most of these top-end Yonex rackets. Now moving on to the net, and we're going to do a little multi-feed exercise. And this is an area where when I changed that NANOFLARE 700, I wanted it to help me in with that sort of headlight feel, can be really sharp at the net. So it's a great exercise here, just looking to intercept nice and quick. And this is where that racket feels so good, because it just feels so light in your hand. You can just move as quick as you want. The racket's up in position and nice and sharp. And then we move on to the 800 Pro. Now at the net, when we're hitting these hard intercepts, you'd maybe expect a little bit more power with that stiff shaft, but it's not going to feel as whippy when you're coming through. But because they're both headlight frames, I'm expecting it to feel very sharp and nice and easy to get my intercepts, which yeah, it does Feels really nice. Nice control around the net. And very easy to get these sharp intercepts in.
So David, you've actually recently changed your racket to the 700 Pro. So why has you went for this racket over the 800 Pro?
Yeah, and I did get a lot of queries about this on our video, and please check that out at the link above. But the main difference really was based on feel, and I think that's such an important thing you've got to take into consideration. I wanted that extra whippiness this racket offers, particularly in my drives and my defense as I'm playing a little bit more doubles. And that is what the benefit of having a slightly sort of mid-stiff shaft versus that real stiff shaft you get in the 800 Pro.
So who are these rackets aimed at? Well, if we go to the 800 Pro, now naturally with the stiffer shaft, you need to have a higher rack head speed to enable you to make use of that technology. But if you're looking for something that's a little bit more medium flex to help you get that power, then look a little bit more towards the 700 Pro.
And that's not to say that this racket is superior to this racket or a better player should be using this racket. It's still based on what you prefer. There's a lot of top players using the 700 Pro just because they want that extra whippiness in their shots. So what do we actually think of both of these rackets? Well, we really like both of them. We like that light head design in the NANOFLARE range, and you can tell the stiffness difference between the two, and that's more down to personal preference. So what racket should you be picking?
Well, you should be picking one that works for your game, rather than sometimes feeling you're copying what other people are using and maybe going for the most expensive racket, thinking it's going to be the best option for you.